Hi, it's Rupert here from Action Coach in Kinross, and I'm joined today by Michael Braidwood from the Bruntsfield Links Golfing Society. Welcome, Michael.
Good morning.
So, Michael, you've had quite an interesting career. You've been what, two and a half years at Bruntsfield, but quite an interesting journey that's taken you all over the world before you got to Bruntsfield. So,
Yes, that's right.
tell us how you got to Bruntsfield.
Well, I started my career out as a golf professional and um, ended up working at the Gleneagles Hotel just up the road from Kinross, and they had as a teaching golf professional, and they had a development side to their business, and got some projects overseas. And I did a little bit of work in the wonderful Fancourt Resort in South Africa back in 1997, and then shortly after that, they got a contract to manage a club in Bahrain and offered me the job. And I accepted the job. I didn't know where Bahrain was, but I accepted the job anyway and thought that sounds really exciting. And I did 10 years there as club general manager. And we opened one club and then knocked it down and rebuilt it as part of a real estate community second time around. Um, and then I came back to work in St Andrews for a company called Braemar Golf Developments, doing similar things, helping really developers establish their golfing product. And we had clients in some far-flung places, and I ended up based in Russia, doing a couple of clubs out there. Um, and people always are surprised to hear that golf's played at all in Russia, but there's quite a few really, really good complexes in Russia, and we were responsible for a couple of those. And then I had a brief time out of the club industry from that side of it into the educational front, uh, running the Club Managers Association of Europe. And the primary output of that was education to make sure that the club manager is equipped with all the tools that they need uh, for the various aspects of the role. So I did that for 3 years before getting invited back out to the Middle East to set up a club called Education City Golf Club, which was really part of the overall FIFA 2022 infrastructure, where we had a stadium on site. It was part of the Qatar Foundation, which had 9 universities on site, and it was quite an amazing complex to get that one up and off the ground. And then I fancy coming back home to Scotland in a bit of normality. And if you were asked me to write a list of maybe 10 places I could work in Scotland, Bruntsfield would be one of them. And these jobs don't come up very often. So when it came up, I took the opportunity to apply and then got the role. And here I am. So
Fantastic.
a good journey to come back to where I began.
Absolutely, and I mean back always to sort of to one of the real homes origins of
Well,
golf.
yeah, the fourth oldest golf club in the world. So there's a lot of history, and it kind of takes you back when you think about that. There's a lot of responsibility just to make sure that you're looking after the heritage correctly and ensuring that the reputation remains as high as it has always been. Bruntsfield Links has had a few homes. The name confuses some people because the Bruntsfield Links is in the city centre behind the castle, but we're up in Davison's Mains. And I think this is the third home that the society's had, having started 260 years ago or so, uh, down behind the castle. That got too crowded, went down to Musselburgh and played on the Musselburgh Old Links for a number of years. And then 126 years ago, I think it was, moved up to the current site we're on now. So um, people do are sort of taken aback. But why is there two Bruntsfield Links in Edinburgh? And that's the short story as to why.
Yeah, fantastic. So it's quite an interesting challenge, I guess, where you've got a club, a business, which has got such tremendous heritage that you need to protect and preserve and celebrate. And at the other side, you need to keep the club fresh, growing, performing, and operating as a business. How do you balance those two dynamics?
Well, that's an interesting question, and we're not alone on this. And I think the actual sport of golf has got that same challenge, and it needs to move forward with the times. And I really think part of the beauty of the Club Managers Association of Europe and the education programs that we ran were really that to help managers tackle that in various ways, be it the governance or be it marketing or setting the financial structures up. Because for many years, clubs didn't really view themselves as businesses at all. But as costs rise, you need to bring in more income. And when they're owned by the members really are not overly, on the main, not overly keen on voting to put the fees up too much. So it's a fine balance. And when golf was more of a demand-led sport, there was no need for real marketing either. And then all of a sudden, times have changed, and clubs have had to become a lot more dynamic and tiptoe their way through traditional elements and trying to modernize. And it is a good challenge. Thankfully, at Bruntsfield, it's very open-minded membership, and the board have steered through some trickier decisions to modernize, and that's where we're going. But as long as it's done with good consultation with the members, and the members are kept well informed of the decision-making process and why, then very more often than not, the members will go along with it because they can see the bigger picture of where in this instance, the society wants to take itself in the next 10, 15 years.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's interesting though, because I mean, you in your career, you've managed some pretty hefty projects. I know from my time in the civil service, managing a few smaller projects. Usually, the thing that always falls down, or is always on the could do better list, is that communication. And there's almost you can't do enough of it. What have you found are the most effective communication methods with your members and your board?
Well, face to face is number one, and always will be. But if you've got 1,200 members, that would be pretty time consuming. We're fortunate here. I did a survey recently about the types of communication the members like, and number one, they like the newsletter, and number two, they like emails. So that makes it a little bit easier. We still have a traditional notice board, and things go up there, but it is doing that, making sure that there's regular communication coming out from the society to the members, and also being there, being visible, and being able to just walk through the lounges at different times of the day and just catching members and allowing them to ask you questions and then just answering them. We kind of joke about it here, but I don't have a door in my office, and I talk about an open door policy, and people think I'm mad, but that nips so many things in the bud. If a member can feel comfortable just walking straight through and telling me something there and then, rather than going home festering about it, writing me an email, copying the 10 friends, and then it just gets out of control. So I like that, and I don't mind, and it just helps build stronger relationships with the membership as well. So so far so good. I think we're all pretty aligned here of what we're trying to achieve, and the members are on board with it. So we're in good shape.
Always good to hear, and it's always nice. You know, every so often I get business owners talking to me and sort of saying, "Ooh, you know, making our plans. I need that to be secret from the staff." And it's what could be worse? Your staff find out about the plans; they might actually help you achieve them.
Yeah.
Well, in your case, you've got 1,200 members.
And the other thing is total transparency. Just let people know what's going on. Sharing. We did a really comprehensive survey. The response rate was great, but we then analysed the survey and then presented to the members the findings, so they got to see that, updated the strategic plan, presented it to the membership. It's on the website, everyone can see it, and then drilling down into different sections, be it the updates to the golf course or updates on food and beverage, open forums, members invited to come along, contribute, and then put it up on the members' website so they all can see. And if it's totally transparent, and an open door policy, everyone gets to put their tuppence worth in, but they also can see that a fairly serious process has gone forward in the thinking of all these things. So it's not just been a sort of haphazard, oh, we're going to do this day or that day. No, it's all part of a longer term of staying true to our vision of trying to be the premier members club in the city of Edinburgh, and having great playing facilities for the members to enjoy. So as long as it all aligns to that, then I think the members are pretty satisfied of how we go about our business.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you've put in, or you continue to put in, pretty significant investments. You remodeled the course 6 years ago?
Yeah, yeah. I think we're into the sixth year of playing the new course, and interestingly enough, we after 5 years we had a 5 year review, formed a subcommittee of members of various ages and playing abilities, just to get some feedback on that. Invited the architect back to answer some questions that we'd come up with after 5 years of playing it, and we'll probably do one or two minor tweaks here and there just to make sure that the course remains relevant and playable for a broad cross section of members. I mean, I think our youngest member is 7, our oldest member is 101, albeit the 101-year-old's not playing as much as he used to. But you're catering from members who are about to break on to some of the global golf tours, to gentlemen who have been playing golf so long now they're just going out for a walk and a bit of recreation. So you've got to set the course up for a variety of different playing needs as well, and that's all important. So yeah, like you say, there has been significant investment, and then we've added some other facilities such as an indoor swing studio, covered driving range bays, and we're now currently just looking at how we can upgrade the interior of the clubhouse, so the clubhouse is as good as the golf course is. So it's constantly evolving.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, all business is got to keep on its toes. It's a bit like it's a bit like the grass on your green. It's either growing or it's dying. And in business, we always want to be growing. So what, you've been around the world. You've settled in Bruntsfield. Um, you're growing the club. What's the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome since arriving at Bruntsfield?
I would say the biggest challenge would be on the people front, the staff, just getting the various teams. It's not a big staff, and certainly compared to some of the places I've worked at, we were into the hundreds of staff. We have a sort of core team of about 30, and then we bring in some seasonal workers in the summer months. And it really was just, I kind of felt when I arrived, they all worked in their own little silos and got along with it, and it was good, and they seemed to do fine. But to really get the level of quality and drive the society forward, really needed a bit of cohesion of everyone pointing in the same direction. And that's taken a bit of work in doing that, making sure all new staff are inducted so they actually know where they work and what makes the society tick. And I started out something I've used in the past called Kaizen, continuous improvement. I find it very, very easy for team members to pick up on that. You say, well, that was great, but how could you have made it better? And just reviewing each thing we do. So when we do an event, for example, we just share amongst the team what went well, even better if, and then even better if for next year. We then add it, and the members then see that we have improved onto the next level. And the more important thing is you have to keep beating that drum every day, every year. So I'm not for one to go and try and change and try and do anything different. Kaizen will stay with us for a long time because it's good now, a couple of years on, you're hearing sort of people in the team or supervisors in the team actually starting to talk about it and saying, oh yeah, we could have done that a little bit better, we could have done that a little bit better. And gradually that will filter out through the whole team. So it's that was probably the biggest challenge, just trying to improve the awareness of attention to detail and quality because that's really what the members are paying for, and the members are very discerning, and they do notice the little things. And we've still got a long way to go, but we've started that journey. And when I hear in the office someone talking about something and then saying, well, look, we've improved this process, and that was part of what we're trying to do, we're trying to continually improve, then they feel they're making a difference that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being able to build that in and embed it so it's part of the culture, it's part of the habits of everyone there is a fantastic thing to be able to embed to keep you fresh. That's brilliant. So what would you say is the biggest learning you've had along your business journey?
Um, the biggest learning. I think for me, I've always enjoyed working. I've always enjoyed being at the places I work, and I think being there and being physically present is very important. Um, I can't say I could do this job remotely, and I couldn't do this working from home. I could do a good percentage of it, but showing physical presence and being there and leading from the front is very, very important. Um, I think you've also got to be on it all the time. If you just let things slip one day to the next, it doesn't take very long for certain things in your organization to fall behind, and then you end up building bigger problems, and that could be anything. But that sort of, if you sort of take the analogy on maintenance, if you don't do a routine preventative maintenance and you end up having a catastrophic disaster, well, I think that's the same thing when you're just running a business or running a team. You've just got to be on it all the time. Follow-up's important. Would I say I get frustrated? Probably. I don't maybe show it to the staff, but the relentlessness of following up and asking them to do the same thing again, 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 again. You think, oh, how many times am I going to have to ask to get this to set in? Well, the answer is as many times as it takes, unfortunately. But I think they pretty much realize that you're not going to give up on this. And once I've asked for the 20th time, I think, oh, right, he is serious about this. So, and it's just that thing. So we maybe joke about it in the office sometimes about being relentless, but certainly being present and being diligent is extremely important to stay on top of all the matters that are required to run a club with 1,200 members.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, it's fascinating listening to you. And I mean those sort of key messages of that sort of relentless determination, the the focus on Kaizen, the focus on continuous improvement, and just being present. I mean, that's if you've got three key messages for a secret to success, it's a fantastic one. So thank you very much for sharing that with us, Michael. It's been really fun conversation, and wish you and Bruntsfield all the success for what I hope is a very long future.
Super, yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me along.